Welcome to Matters of the Heart podcast with Rashonda, Sunday Thoughts episode edition. Sunday Thoughts are stories I've experienced in life, and I relate those stories to God's Word in a way where you can understand. It's never about preaching, but a discovery in trying to find God's voice and pick up a few lessons to be learned in our daily lives. This Sunday, let's take time to reflect and think about those experiences. God's messages are often hidden in plain sight in everything that happens to us, whether good or bad. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday's Thoughts episode. You're listening to the Matters of the Heart podcast with Rashonda. I talk about inspiration, motivation, wellness, and mind peacefulness on this platform. I share experiences, advice, and knowledge to help you and me, okay, because I'm learning too, improve our life and learn more. And the content is always 100% positive, guaranteed, pinky promise, okay? Well, we are in November, and I got a taste for some pizza. Don't you? I got a taste for some pizza. Like, I don't know about you, but I got a taste for some pizza. I know that's odd because we should be thinking about turkeys, some good old dressing and giblet gravy. Now, I'm an Arkansas girl, okay? So we call it turkey and dressing, which is made from scratch, and my sister makes the best, and I look forward to it every year. It's a little different from the stovetop, all right? But until we get there, I want to talk about pizza and the lesson I learned about life. So today's episode is entitled, The Pizza Went Rogue, But So Can Life. The pizza went rogue. Okay, but so can life. So hopefully it will help us navigate the changes in our lives a little better. Pizza. Stay tuned. One of the things that my two teens and I love to do is make pizza and tacos together. Okay, Taco Tuesdays, Pizza Fridays. The toppings for both meals are endless. Now, I go a little overboard with my toppings, okay, because I want everything in the kitchen sink in my tacos and on my pizza. But hey, it's pizza and tacos, so you can't go wrong with either unless something does go wrong. And so it did. As we were making pizzas one night, everything went right until we went to get them out the oven. The pizzas looked and smelled amazing. Plus, the toppings were all laid atop this fantastic Indian flatbread that we got from Publix. So good. So while my son propped the range open for us to get our pizzas out, my daughter and son removed theirs successfully. And while I went to reach for my plate to retrieve mine, my son said, "Oh, Mom, I'll get yours out." Now, all of our pizzas was on the top rack. Mine was in the middle of the two and centered more upward to the end of that rack. When my son went to scoop it up on the spatula, it moved backwards. And for the life of him, he couldn't get a grip on it to retrieve it from the oven. So by the time I could say, "Let me try," the pizza fell off the rack and landed face down on the second rack. There was my perfect pizza with all my delicious toppings. I laid it out, facing down on the middle rack and sliding down onto the base of the oven. To say I was disappointed was an understatement, and my son and daughter knew it as they both hushed like little mice and didn't say another word. The kitchen, filled with joy and laughter minutes before, was now filled with complete silence. I suppose my kids thought I was going to scream to the top of my lungs or fuss and throw the pizza out altogether. But as I looked at the pizza turned upside down, my toppings lying on the bottom of the stove floor, I had to make a quick decision and fast. Either I was going to get mad, throw it out altogether, and go to bed angry, or take that sour lemonade and make it sweet. And that's precisely what I did. As I moved quickly to try and retrieve the rest of my toppings lying on the rack, I immediately thought, you know what? I can shuffle these toppings around, add some cheese and a little barbecue sauce. Yes, I said barbecue sauce. Listen, don't judge me. Let it hit the microwave for a few seconds, and voila, I have my pizza back. So as I shuffled around the kitchen, not saying much to the kids who had both disappeared by that time, The incident reminded me of life. I had the opportunity to speak to some individuals recently, and as we all began to converse, they both began to talk about life and how they keep going around in the same circles. They complained and blamed their situation and circumstances for their inability to move forward. It seemed like life had given them lemons. They didn't feel too enthused about turning into lemonade. In life, we all will be presented with challenges. Some are out of our control, while others are based on our decisions. Did you know that when we make a terrible decision, as we all have and do, you can go back and make a good decision in that same breath? Isn't that amazing? Life is what it is, but it doesn't mean you have to give up, throw in the towel, and sit down and do nothing about it. We all have choices and decisions to make. One of my favorite quotes came from an apostle who said, "The choices you make will determine the life you choose." And I added to it by saying, "And the life you choose will be determined by the choices you made." Stay tuned. Pizza is an example of how life will do you. Just when you think everything is going right, it seems everything crumbles into pieces. I had a choice to get mad, kick and scream, and hurt people in the process because what I wanted didn't work out to my liking. Isn't that amazing when things don't go our way and we get mad, but then we hurt people along the way. You know, we hurting people's feelings, hurting this person, hurting that person, and taking out on them something that we can't do. Or I could take that moment, breathe, assess the situation to see what I can use and make what I had that seemed a lost cause into something different and unique. And let me tell you, the second version of that pizza tasted much better than what I thought the first would have tasted like. All because I chose to turn something messy into something new. So what about you? Is your life turned upside down now? Does everything around you look like it's crumbling to pieces? The first thing I suggest is for you to take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. You don't have to wait to exhale. Don't let the movie fool you. You can do it now. Sometimes taking a deep breath in and out can shift our focus and reset our mindset. It lets us let out mounting pressure built up in a split second or over time. Next, you should take another look at your situation. Like, sit down and actually think about it. Think about what you're doing. Think about your actions. Think about your motives, Think about where you want to go, your journey. And write down what went wrong and what decisions you made. Then think about ways you can turn that situation around. Now, for most people, this will be minor changes, such as blocking people on social media, not answering your phone to people that's giving off certain negativity, and you can block them too, right? Or it could be just not talking as much. Sometimes we talk too much, and we wonder why we hadn't gotten certain places or moved up or whatever. That's why you need to sit down and think about it. Think about how much you telling your business to folks, okay? Because everybody, and you've heard this before, that you tell your secrets to, your blessings, share your blessings with, or your ideals, or your dreams, or where you want to go, or your next moves. They ain't praying for you. They praying against you. Okay, they ain't happy for you. Low blow, they smiling in your face. You ever heard that song, Backstabbers? They smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place, those backstabbers. So you got to be careful about who you're talking to. Plan your work. Make your moves in silence and make your plans work. Plan your work. Make your moves in silence and make your plans work. For other people, these changes will be major, such as changing jobs, moving away, or cutting off toxic relationships, which all can take some significant planning and navigating. What I'm trying to say is that there are ways you can change your environment for the better, but it will cause you to have to put in some extra work to figure out what needs to be done and what needs to change. There are solutions. You just have to be creative in your approach. The season is here and officially turned up, y'all. So another thing that can also turn up is our emotions. Like how my pizza went rogue, so can those emotions, especially during the holiday season. And speaking of creative ways and life paths, do your emotions tend to put you in jail? Well, if your emotions tend to put you in jail, okay, because some of our emotions have put us in emotional jail. Join me next Thursday as I offer you bond money tips to clear the books and get your emotions out of the jailhouse and into the right mood before you get amongst your family, okay? So have the most fantastic day and begin churning those lemons and make the best lemonade possible. Until next time, blessings. That was it for today's episode. I hope you were inspired and feel positive vibes whenever you spend some time with me, Rashonda, and the Matters of the Heart podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to join me next time as we dive deeper into our spiritual, mental, and physical journey. You can follow Matters of the Heart podcast on Facebook to stay tuned for what's coming next. Feel free to share the episodes while you're here. Also, stay with me by subscribing wherever your favorite music and podcast stations reside. And as always, watch your heart because its actions will follow. Thank you for listening.